Howdy, it's Cooter Pickleberry, Florida Man Cooking, and tonight we're making something I usually make in the winter, but it's 95 degrees out, hot as hell, and been a long weekend, so I decided to make shepherd's pie. It's really good stuff. It's one of my kid's birthday requests, and it's his 25th birthday, I don't know, a few weeks ago, but we didn't get a chance to get together, so this is it. We're making shepherd's pie tonight. It's not really shepherd's pie, though. Shepherd's pie has lamb as the main meat ingredient, and cottage pie uses ground beef, and I'm using some ground beef, but I'm also throwing in some pork sausage, so we call this cooter pie. So it's pretty good stuff. You're gonna like it. You can use it whatever meat you want. You can use ground beef and make it a shepherd's pie, or I'm sorry, a cottage pie, or you can use ground lamb and make it a shepherd's pie. However, um, some people think lamb's a little gamey and beef's a little bland, and this kind of spices it up, makes it a pretty nice deal. So we'll show you how to do it. It's a little different. There's so much noise going on in the house today, I decided to just dub it all in later. So this is the only chance I got. Now I got to feed the chickens and water them because I'm leaving tomorrow for Europe for a day or two, and then we'll come back and do some more next week. If you like it, please subscribe and then hit the like button. I never asked for that, but lots of people watch them. Nobody seems to like them. So I'm not sure if it's worth doing or if I should just, I mean, it's worth doing because it's not for y'all, it's for my kids. So, they'll look at them someday and go, I remember that. So that'd be cool. But if you can find the time to smash that like button, I'd sure appreciate it. You have a good night. Thanks. See you next week.
Okay, so the ingredients: sausage, lean ground beef, it's garden dew, which is peas and carrots diced up, some yellow sweet corn, those are both frozen, some rosemary, some thyme, some tomato paste, some Worcestershire sauce, some garlic, some diced onion, and a little bit of chicken stock. And that'll about do the ingredients. Got some potatoes, about 4 pounds of russet potatoes that are getting ready to boil here on the stove to make some mashed potatoes for the topping. About a tablespoon and a half of olive oil inside a frying pan. We're going to heat that up till it smokes. I'll throw in some onion, give that a stir, a little bit of garlic at the end. Garlic cooks a lot quicker than onion, so we don't do too much of it to burn it up and make it taste like not so good. And that's about that. Once we're done with that part, we're going to throw the meat on top and start browning that. And we're going to speed things up. Everybody knows how to brown meat, so we'll just kind of munch that up with a spoon along with the onion and the garlic. And like magic, it's going to turn brown for us. We'll drain the grease a little bit, and then we'll start throwing in some other ingredients. So we've got the rosemary, the thyme, and about a tablespoon and a half, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. It smells good already. A little bit of Worcestershire sauce. And about a cup of chicken stock. And then we just give that a nice stir, get it to all blend together. We're going to go ahead and bring that to a boil. And then once it's boiling, we'll throw a little bit of flour in. That'll help absorb some of the liquids, which keeps it underneath the mashed potatoes. If it's too liquidy, you're going to get holes in the mashed potatoes, and it kind of turns everything a little bit brown and it doesn't look as pretty. So we'll give that a little stir. That takes some of the moisture up for us. Not a lot of flour. I can't give you an exact amount. It's going to depend on the grease content of your meat, but I use about probably a tablespoon. And throw the frozen corn and peas and carrots right on top of the whole thing. It's going to heat up pretty quick. And this whole thing's going in the oven for a little bit, so we'll just kind of start warming it up now. Just stir it all together. Give it a nice good stirring so you get it all blended. A little bit of salt. I use a lot of pepper in mine. We like pepper, but you don't have to. You can put a little or as much as you want. A little bit of salt. The chicken stock has salt in it, so if you do too much, it gets a little bit too salty. So we just give it a couple grinds of the pink Himalayan salt. And then we'll reach over here, check the taters, and they are fork tender, so that means they're done. So this whole thing's coming together pretty quick now. We drain the water out of the taters. Give a little shake here, and then we're going to start making mashed potatoes in one pot. The other stuff's just sitting there warming up those peas and carrots and corn. And we'll throw that back in the same pot we just used. Why make too many dirty dishes? And then a full stick of butter and a little bit of milk. And again, that's just the consistency you want. I think the creamier the better for this, because it's just easier to spread out. And in fact, when I did this recipe, I think I probably could have used a little bit more milk. But we'll stick that in there, and then I've got this neat little thing that I use to smash up the potatoes. And voila, they're smashed. A little bit more milk. Give that a nice little spin around and make it a little bit creamy. And that's about it for the mashed potatoes. Those are pretty easy to make, and you know, you can do whatever you want. I use russet potatoes, about 4 pounds of them, and I peel them before I do this. Then we take the whole thing and dump it into a big casserole dish. And then once it's dumped in, you want to smooth it out and get every little bit of it, because it's so yummy. And we'll just smooth that out with a spoon. Make sure you get the corners real good. Just kind of keep it relatively level. It obviously doesn't have to be perfect. And we'll start throwing taters on it. Now this is the big part. You want to seal this up nice and tight, because if you don't seal it up nice and tight, it'll leak out through whatever cracks you have. Dropped a little bit there on the counter. I'm sure one of the feral hogs will eat that. We're gonna smack it kind of around in various spots. We don't just make a big pile in the middle. We just kind of move it around a little bit. And very quickly we'll be done throwing the potatoes out. I use 4 pounds of potatoes on this with this big dish, and you want to go a little bit thicker, you could use a full 5-pound bag. It wouldn't be a bad thing. A little bit extra potatoes is never a bad idea. But then we get a spatula out, and we really want to seal up the edges and just everywhere, just kind of get it nice. Now some people will draw something in there. Some people will do an egg wash. You know, you can use a fork to make some neat designs. I'm not that artistic. So I didn't really worry about this one. Sometimes I do that. This was kind of a hurried up cook after a long weekend of baseball, and before I had to go get on an airplane and fly across the Atlantic. So, which is where I am now, which is why I sound tired. So the whole thing goes on a parchment lined cookie sheet. That way if it does spill over, it doesn't mess up your oven. And then it goes in the oven 400 degrees for about 25 minutes. You can go a little bit longer. What you're looking for is to see that the top of the mashed potatoes maybe start browning. And then I already took a little bite before I filmed this, because it's just so darn yummy. Nummy nummy, good stuff. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again soon.
Good stuff.
Try this, let me know what you think, and don't forget to like it.
Well, hello, ladies. Want some fresh water and dinner? What you doing in the door? Come on out. Larry, come here. Come here, Larry. Larry's a bad girl.